review. I ain't making no commitments unless I'm seeing it through. And that shit ain't always easy to do. Nah, it ain't easy to. Another year alive, pushing my dreams, finding balance while I'm looking at screens.
Yo, what's up? What's up? You guys know what it is. It's the Josh and Denver podcast right here. You know, we've been on a little break. We're coming back. It's your boy Denver right here.
Yeah, and it's your boy Josh. Welcome back to the podcast. You know, it's been a long time. It's been a little, again, yeah, we've been on a break, but we're here to give you guys, again, the best content, you know, when it comes to NFL, NBA, whatever it is, man, even Marvel, we'll get into that a little bit. Yeah, we got lots to talk about, man, because it's been a minute since we talked, bro. A minute since we came on the platform to talk and chat a little bit. So let's get into it, family. You blessed though? Everything good?
Yeah, blessing. Everything is good. You know, spent the whole day on the beach, so
okay.
Just came back. You know, summertime vibes, I guess.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the summer. You know.
That's what I'm saying. You know, that's what it's for. I mean, that's what it is. Summer is also like the off season for a lot of sports. Like we talked about NBA, NFL. Like hard to come with topics off season. But as we get closer to like the start of the season, especially for NFL, training camp starts in August. Things start heating up a bit. But yeah, man, just been relaxing, man. What about you?
Yeah, man, same here. I mean, of course, I didn't get to go to the beach like you and enjoy the sun and you know the sand between my feet or nothing, but but yeah, I was, you know, out running errands today, you know, it's just, you know, doing what I need to do to prepare for the next day tomorrow, because we back at it with the day jobs, you already know. So yeah, just running errands, man. But you know, it's been a good summer so far for me, yo. You know, if anyone's wondering, you know, the summer's been good to me. So
Yo, we still got time. I think July just started, so we got all of July, all of August. So
exactly,
still at least 2 more months of full summer, dog. So plenty of time left.
Honestly, I need summer to be longer, man. Because I mean, up here in Canada, bro, I mean, just having 3 months, if that 3 months of summer is not enough. It is not enough. Because we going back to the cold weather soon, bro. September, the weather's gonna, like, the temperature's gonna drop a little bit. So I don't know, man. I'm just not looking forward to that.
I'm saying, like, we need to make a trip down to Florida, man. All our Florida fans out there. Weather all year long. Obviously, in the winter it gets a little cooler, but I mean, living in Florida right now, I mean, that's the life right now. All the south, all the down south states, Florida, Texas, Arizona, you know, Nevada. Man, if Canada had, I mean, there's Vancouver. Vancouver has weather like that, but it rains a lot there. It's like Seattle, but I guess in Canada, the only place that's maybe all year round sunny is maybe Vancouver, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, basically Vancouver is like our Seattle. You know, West Coast vibes, of course. I don't know exactly how the temperature is though. I mean, I don't think it ever gets as cold as how it gets out here in the East, but they still get, you know, some poor weather here and there. It's still Canada at the end of the day. So yeah, bro, we definitely gotta make a trip down south, bro.
For sure.
Definitely.
Winter trip, dog.
Yes, sir.
Fall or winter trip. Y'all gotta drop in the comments where's the best place to go in Florida. Obviously, you know, Miami. Obviously, you know, maybe West Palm Beach. There's many places, but you know, give a comment like, where should we go?
All right. You can always do with the recommendations, man. Drop it in the comments.
Man, I was saying, like, just hop off the topic, especially you're from Canada, you know. We dealt with the whole Rodgers thing on Friday. I don't know if y'all still complaining about this. Is this still a hot topic? But in the US, if you guys didn't know, Canada, we were down for an entire day on Friday, which was great for a lot of people who didn't get a chance. They didn't get to work because the network was down. So if you're working from home, you had a day off. But it's kind of like, you know, Rodgers kind of, like me and Josh talked about earlier, they kind of dropped the ball. Like, you know, down for an entire day. And I was worried that it might be down until next week. I was like, man, this is not good, man. Like, Canada, we have two options. We have Rodgers, we have Bell. If Rodgers goes down, you don't have Bell, you're basically screwed. You had Bell yesterday, you were like happy.
A lie, you were kings and queens that day. You're basically pitying us Rodgers users. Yeah, man. Honestly, for how long the duration of the outage was, I'm thinking, it had to be something big that occurred to Rodgers. I don't know if it was some sort of, I mean, I don't want to throw it out there, but if it was some sort of security breach, I mean, if it was something like that, I understand, Rodgers not coming out and saying exactly what had really happened, because that would send the whole country in a damn frenzy. People would be freaking out. Again, when it comes to security breaches and dealing with people's information and it being just, available, right? People get scared. Like, of course you're gonna get scared, right? It's your livelihood at the end of the day. So I don't know if it's that, but it seems like it's something big that had occurred that affected that caused this outage. And yeah, man, I mean, if whatever it is that happened, Rodgers, you really done messed up, bro. Because for what had happened, like emergency lines could not be used, right? I work for Service Canada. I'm just throwing it out there. People could not make those, they could not reach those phone lines because our toll-free lines are through Rodgers. So anyone trying to make important calls or emergency calls to get emergency services, you were out of luck. You know what I'm saying? That's a scary time. I was joking around with my girl. I was saying, yo, this is the Purge. Yo, yeah. Yo, did you watch the Purge, family?
I think so. It's kind of like a zombie type thing.
No, the Purge is basically like there's this one day in time, like one day each year where all crime is permitted. You're allowed to do anything you want. So everyone just goes crazy, right? Yeah. It's something that the government in that movie implemented, just to get everyone to just release all their transgressions and just be wild. So people be killing people that day. Like literally you were not safe. So literally that's why I was joking around, like, yo, this is the Purge. Because people, I mean, like, if you're a Rodgers user, you're basically in the dark. So if someone want to jack you for all you got, who are you gonna call? Nobody. You know what I'm saying?
That's
you
true.
Can't call nobody.
Oh man. But I heard they're gonna get everyone credit back. But like,
so they say. Right? So they say. But like, what type of credit?
They said her might be $2. So I'm like, $2 is not even worth. It's not even worth sending me $2 for credit, dog. Like, to be honest, like, I don't even know what to say.
Nah. Rodgers gonna have to give. You're gonna have to give it something more than that. Cause I'm not accepting that.
Like a free month, so like a free month of service or something. Not a $2 credit or something.
Bro, I don't think people out there really realize you and me. We were in the dark. It was the damn Stone Ages on everything. What were you doing that day, family? Like I was playing cards. Like I had to make up, like use my imagination. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was, just to be honest, like I think it was raining that day too, so I couldn't even do much outside too. Like, we're just like talking around the house, like because my mom came over for the week, so. We're just like,
shout out to moms.
Yeah, so we're just enjoying time, just talking, but like we kept being like, oh, it's gonna come back. I was like, yo, it's not gonna come back. It's at least gonna be down a day. So I was hopeful that it'll be back by Monday, and it came back Saturday morning, I believe, Saturday morning.
Yeah. Honestly, it was the biggest relief that it came back. Still was completely cheese because I mean, like I had plans for that Friday too, and they kind of. They were sussed. So shout out to you, Rodgers. Thanks a lot.
It'll sponsor us, man. Give us some money back, bro.
Honestly, right? If you want to make up for it, sponsor us. Push our content forward.
Yeah. Oh man. So we got into what's a hot topic today? We're gonna talk about Baker Mayfield.
Oh yes, sir. We gotta get into our Baker Chronicles.
The Baker Chronicles. Oh man! So, if you guys are following podcasts, Baker Mayfield is a guy we talk about a lot, just because he was hyped up in the draft. He had one good year with Cleveland Browns, But then this past year, they went and got Deshaun Watson, which is a whole other story we've been talking about. We actually call it the Cleveland Browns Chronicles. Really, it's so much different, ebbs and flows and episodes to this if you really want to talk about it.
Yeah, their drama.
Just simply the Baker Chronicles. They got Deshaun Watson, and Baker was like he wants to get traded. So I think speculation was he was going to go to maybe Seattle or maybe Carolina were the two options all off season. And I think it was Thursday or Friday, he got traded to the Carolina Panthers. So interesting. And man, I wasn't shocked, but I was kind of like, what took so long? But very interesting move. What do you think about Baker going to Carolina?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's very interesting because if people have been following the podcast, right, we've been discussing about possible destinations, and yes, Carolina was one of the possible destinations, but I was pretty sold on Seattle picking him up. I was thinking that there's no way that they were gonna Seattle was gonna go forward with Drew Lock at starting quarterback. It just didn't make much sense to me. I mean, like, just to kind of blow it all up after the departure of Russell Wilson and just rebuild completely. Because I'm like, you still got good years left in Tyler Lockett. You got good years left in DK Metcalf. You have a run game with Chris Carson. Why are you going to, like, let Drew Lock just take over the helm? Didn't make much sense to me. And I felt like, hey, you plug Baker in, maybe he might be successful. Now, you never know with Baker. It's always up in the air with him. So now with Carolina making the move and being dead set on bringing in Baker, it's interesting. I guess it causes a little bit more of a quarterback battle because Sam Darnold has been a starter in this league and he's been a very up and down quarterback himself. This past year with his first year in Carolina, he was really trying to prove himself. And I thought he was looking good in the first maybe 2 games of the season, of this past season, but he quickly fell off, really didn't look good at all. So yeah, I guess maybe Baker can come into this Carolina situation and make the team a little bit better. Who knows? I still feel like this does cause a quarterback competition because, again, Baker, you don't know what you're going to get with Baker. I keep saying this, right? I keep reiterating this. You don't know. So we'll see who wins. I'm just not dead set on Baker being the starter day one. It really could be anyone. And then we've also talked about them drafting Matt Corral, who was a great quarterback at Ole Miss. He had a great year this past year coming into the draft, but I believe his draft stock had dropped because he played in his bowl game and he got hurt. So that kind of plummeted his draft stock ultimately. But hey, he could be someone that we could look out for too. So 3-way quarterback competition in Carolina. I feel like either way it works for them. And I just feel like Seattle kind of dropped the ball. But what do you think?
Yeah, I feel like they need some competition. Like, they saw what happened to Darnold last year in terms of how he played, how he started the season, and how he kind of tailed off towards the middle season. They had to throw in Cam Newton. And that was a failed experience, unfortunately, because we're both big Cam fans and we're disappointed how he played last year. But like he spoke about on previous podcasts of why he played so bad, and we actually went into that in terms of getting to know the playbook and all that type of stuff. That then went back to Sam Darnold, and I think he ended the season better than how he started, but still left a lot of question marks, and there's still a lot of question marks. Like, I think Baker's coming off I think a shoulder surgery in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
So he might be good for training camp, but it's like we even spoke about earlier about that division. Like, if Baker wins the QB battle and they play well, he plays well, they could be the second best team in that division we talked about. Number one, that we both agree would be Tampa with Tom Brady and the veteran crew come back. They'd be the best team in the NFC South. Second, if Baker plays well, would be, Carolina. And then, Atlanta and New Orleans, those are big question marks. Jameis could have a great year, like last year before he got hurt, but the Saints are still a question mark. Atlanta, we think they're tanking, you know what I mean? And so, Carolina, this could be a great move. There's still a lot to be said. I hear a lot of the pundits and experts are saying, "Oh, it's a bad move," and this and that. It doesn't make sense, but it could play out well if he wins the job and if he plays well. They could be I don't know, like a 10-6 team, or a team that's middle of the pack. It's possible. They could be, I'm not saying a great team, but they could be a playoff team depending on how he plays. So, big X factors obviously in Carolina. Like, we'll see how it goes during the season, right?
No, I feel like you're not giving the Saints the credit that they deserve, though. And I feel like the Saints, I don't know. I just feel like the Saints might be more in a position to be the second team in that division, the second place team in that division, just due to the fact that I understand, we have some question marks about Jameis, but Jameis did show some great things before he did get hurt last season. So I'm feeling like he may build upon off of that. And then again, the additions that they have, Chris Olave that they drafted, he's going to be a great young receiver. Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas returning, huh? Tyrann Mathieu on the defensive side. Again, they added defensive backs like Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May. Again, just building on that already strong defense. And that defense gives Tom Brady the work too when they face against the Tampa Bay. So, man, they could be. I feel like they have more of a place of being that second top dog team within that division. And Carolina has to kind of fight to be that third place, or maybe, battle with New Orleans to take that second place. But I don't feel like they are just set at second place with the addition of Baker. I just don't believe that. I mean, Baker could make their team better just based on how Baker plays individually, but we don't know how what he's going to do, right? Yeah, so that's my standpoint on things, man. New Orleans, man, give them some more credit, family.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right too. Like, even you just saying about all the additions they made on paper, they look really good. Like you said, it's like QB's the X factor. Like, both teams, like Carolina and New Orleans, like, if Jameis plays how he does last year, 100%. They're the second best team. To be honest, they could be the best team in that division if they could out. Like you said, they give Tom Brady the work. They make it real tough for him. They have a good defensive scheme every time they play him. They have great numbers against Tom Brady. So, yeah. So it all depends on how the QB plays. But that's like for most teams, to be honest. Even Tampa, like, even Tom Brady coming back. Everyone keeps saying, is this the year he's going to fall off the cliff? But they said that last year, and last year he had, one of his highest, touchdown numbers, I believe, since, he was in. Yeah. And so, I mean, hey, that whole division is coming down to QB play. Is Tom Brady going to still play at the same level he did last year? Can Jameis Winston come back the same way he did before he got injured? Can Baker Mayfield bounce back? And then with Atlanta, Marcus Mariota, we don't know. We still don't. It's such a question mark. Like, he's always had the athletic ability, like, to run and pass the dog. I don't know. I feel like he hasn't translated like we thought he would coming out of Oregon.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be like kind of like a gadget player. I was like, I don't know, I was a big Madden guy back in the days. I was like, man, he's gonna be like a Madden type, gadget player. He's gonna be sick in the game. He could run, he could pass, but hasn't really translated that in college. I mean, in the NFL so far. So hopefully this is a second shot and like he can take advantage of it. So definitely see with Atlanta, but that whole division is question marks. But to me, that comes down to the QB play for all four teams.
It's funny, now that you mentioned, Marcus Mariota and his projections coming out of college. Remember, he was in the same draft as Jameis Winston. It was Jameis first, then Marcus Mariota second. And I believe, like, during that time too, it was just like, it was such a question mark who's going to be picked first overall. So it's funny how that happens, and now they're both in the same division now. So yeah, I guess we'll see how Marcus Mariota does in Atlanta. Again, he had some good years in Tennessee, but ultimately dropped off and lost his position to Ryan Tannehill. I think maybe, you just really never know what he's learned, or just may have been very humbled from that situation, being behind Derek Carr for the last couple years as well. Maybe during those years, just sitting on the bench and taking a back seat, maybe that's really put, a new drive into him, maybe revitalize his skill sets. I don't know. We'll see. But hey, if that doesn't work out, they did draft the guy for a reason. They drafted Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
But you already know if they go forward Desmond Ridder, they ain't doing nothing this year. It's because he's a fresh face, a project. They're gonna have to build with him. They're gonna have to really roll with the punches with him. So, yeah, it's all. I feel like Marcus Mariota only has a few games at quarterback, to start for this season. I feel like they will go in day one with him as a starter, but he only has a set few games to show what he's got, and if he's not able to, then they're just gonna scrap it. And Desmond Ridder, here you go. Here are the keys. But yeah.
And them to jump on your last point, I'm surprised they haven't brought in another veteran. I could be wrong. Maybe they do have a veteran already there, but a guy like a Cam, why hasn't he even just a backup bridge option between him and Ridder? If Mariota doesn't play well, they're gonna go to rookie and tank. I could be wrong. They could have another veteran on the team. I don't, I can't really think of that name. But yeah, I thought they'd get a bridge quarterback just in case, they still want to be semi-competitive and try to win some games if Marcus doesn't play well. But like you said, maybe they're really banking on him really playing well this year. But like I said, on paper, apples to apples, doesn't look like they're going to compete with Tampa's or even the New Orleans Saints. So you never know. It's the NFL. It's the biggest parity league that we have. A team could look like they're last, and then the season starts and they're the best team. So up in the air. But I would bet my money that I don't think they're gonna have a great year. I could be wrong, but it looks like they're tanking.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And yeah, you brought up a great point, just bringing another bridge quarterback, maybe just to help, so that you're just not throwing the rookie into the fire like that. The thing is, though, with Cam being that potential option, I feel like Cam is kind of just wasted or not wasted, but he's utilized all his chances now. Now he's being more publicized as for what he says outside of the football world. I think he said a couple things about, how he expects his woman to be, when it comes to, a woman being submissive and whatnot, that whole conversation that keeps being brought up on a day-to-day in the manosphere or, in the social world now. So, a lot of people don't agree with his mind, with his thoughts and, what he's projected and what he said in public. And because of that, disagreeing, the abundance of disagreeing mentalities, I feel like NFL kind of just doesn't want to deal with the drama that he has outside of the football world. And they much rather just, hey, whoever's in the league, whoever shuts up, be quiet, stays quiet and plays football, that's who they're gonna give the opportunity to. The moment that you kind of expand on, that you're a character outside of football, that may not be shown in the best light, they're just NFL is that doesn't align with them. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Cam just utilizes the opportunity. He's utilized all the opportunities that he's been given. They're done now. He's used them up. I don't think they're going to give him another chance. But what other quarterbacks are out there? Are the 49ers going to stick with Jimmy G? Is that what's going to happen? Because remember, we were previously talking about Jimmy G being on the market, him being a potential option for other teams. We talked about that early on, but we haven't heard anything about that. So is San Fran sticking with Jimmy G? Are they sticking beside him?
I'm confused too, because I heard that they said he's not going to play for them this year. This is what the word around town is. They're still looking to trade him. So Seattle or maybe like you said,
So
Cleveland.
that's an open-ended storyline right there. Then, so I guess there's still an opportunity for that.
Maybe Cleveland if Deshaun's off for the entire year. That's the word. Like it's spent for the entire year. But
Yeah.
like Jimmy G, I don't understand. Like, so I guess they're really pushing with Trey Lance, which we saw hits and pieces last year. He was a rookie. He was a rookie last year. Or was it his second year? He was a rookie last year, right?
Wait, which one? Sorry.
Trey Lance.
Yeah, Trey Lance was a rookie last year. He's going into his second year.
Yeah, he really didn't look ready last year when they did give him chances. So like they really bank on him with a second offseason. He's the guy, which is interesting. And they're not a team that's looking to tank, so they're looking to win games. Like Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and they're not looking to tank. So if they think he's the guy, that means they think they can win with Trey Lance. So they really want to move on from a veteran QB like Jimmy G. Then that says a lot that they think about him and confidence going forward, which isn't very intriguing. So he's definitely one of my QBs coming up this year that I'm going to be having a keen eye on and be like, okay, they really think this guy has a chance to be a really good player. And they're going to insert him in this early second year. I thought he was more of a 3-year, 4-year project, but for them to start him in his second year as a full-time starter, again, I'm looking forward to seeing how he plays for sure. But like, yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see where Jimmy G goes. I mean, to be honest, if they can't find a trading partner, I would keep him. I mean, just in case, like name him the backup for Trey Lance and just say if Trey Lance struggles, they throw Jimmy G in because they're trying to be competitive, right? So yeah, that's a tough situation. I don't know where he goes, but I would say maybe Seattle, maybe like a Cleveland that just needs a 1-year QB for a year if D Watt is out for the entire year. But yeah, maybe Texans. Who's Texans starting quarterback again? David Mills?
Yeah, David Mills. Yeah.
Come on, man. They ain't trying to win games. I can't. You can't tell me he played decent last year. I'm not saying he played bad. So I don't want Texans fans to come attack me. I'm just saying, dog. Like, at least get a veteran QB in there. Am I wrong? Like, I don't understand teams like that. Like, are you trying to win or not? Like, I don't understand. Like, at least have a deep QB room. Even if you think David Mills could be the guy, at least have a lot of veterans or good rookies that could, replace him and play well. I don't know. That's just my thought.
No, I agree with you because I don't feel like I've seen enough from Davis Mills to be sold on him to be starter day one for the Texans. Like, what did he really do? Like, I don't know. I didn't watch much Texans games, to be honest, but I feel like he didn't. Now, Texans fans, maybe you can get at me and correct me. Let us know in the comments. If you want to stand up for your boy Davis Mills, let me know. But I just feel like I'm not sold. And I do feel like I agree with you. I feel like it's beneficial to have someone else in there. I mean, just like how they had Tyrod Taylor, but they let him go, and now he's going to New York. But like who you going to get? Like, I feel like you need someone else. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Jimmy G, that could be a potential option for Jimmy G. Seattle makes a lot of sense to me more than anything. I mean, more than the Davis Mills situation, because again, Davis Mills, he's still young. He's still he's going into his second year. All right, maybe he can prove us wrong in the second year. But Drew Lock, this is his third year. He's given us 2 years of bad tape. We know what Drew Lock brings to a football team. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy G, go in there and save him, real talk. Because I don't know Seattle, man. I feel like Seattle is so passive when it comes to this, man. They just hella passive, like make moves. Like I don't think you're really trying to rebuild. I don't think that's your plan moving forward. So make moves.
And it's hard to like kind of like you said, like especially in Austin now, it's hard to really understand teams and what they're doing because like a team like Seattle, they came after. Everyone's saying, we need another QB. They said, no, we're not tanking. We're retooling, or the word is retooling or rebuilding. Like, we're going to be competitive. We want to make the playoffs. I'm like, no, you don't. I mean, I don't understand that. Like, can Drew Lock play good football? Yes, he could play good football, but we just haven't seen it on a consistent basis. He could prove us wrong. He had decent games, when he played for the Broncos. So we're not saying he's a bad QB. We're just saying that we haven't seen that consistent tape of him playing really well throughout the entire season. And he's got a lot of opportunities when he was on Denver. So,
Denver, yeah.
We're saying that, he said, let's how we see how Tyrod Taylor, I believe, went to the New York Giants. And so, if the QB doesn't play well, they can go with Tyrod as a veteran QB. So they're saying that we kind of want to be competitive, even though that the Giants could be bad again another year. But at least they have a veteran QB that they can jump in there and step in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? In Seattle, who's the backup QB? I believe, is it still Geno Smith?
I think so. I think Geno's still there.
He's not a bad QB, but I mean, if Drew Lock plays bad, Geno Smith had a few games last year we started when Russell went out that they were trying to get the playoffs, and he unfortunately couldn't get it done. So
Exactly.
He got some last year, so we're not saying Geno Smith is bad QB, but you need a QB in that has to give you a chance to win games. Does Drew Lock give you a chance to win games? They're saying they want to make the playoffs this year and be competitive. I don't see that. I just don't see that. I need to see. If they don't have a defense that they did where they have the Legion of Boom, and they just need a rookie. When they have Russell Wilson, he was a rookie, so they didn't really need him to play a ball out like that. They had the Legion of Boom. We can go on and on about the players that had that during that era, that 3-4 year era. But they don't have a defense that's strong, I believe, that can handle having a Drew Lock at a QB and win games. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, man. I feel like New York knew what they were doing when they got Tyrod. They said, hey, we got a backup plan because we are not sold on Daniel Jones completely, right? This is his final showing. I feel like Daniel Jones this may be his final chance.
Yeah.
If he's not able to perform, they moving on from him. He gone. He gonna be a backup quarterback somewhere else. Real talk. So at least New York would they put some action into their plan. You know what I'm saying? Into a backup plan. These other teams, Seattle, no backup plan to speak of. Texans, no backup plan to speak of. So I'm just interested, to see, maybe once we get closer to training camp, if they actually do something, because I feel like they desperately need to do something. I'm just it just doesn't make sense to me right now. So I'm pretty confident that they'll do something. It would have been nicer to see them do something from now, maybe to put some fans at ease. I'm sure Seattle fans are probably, just they probably mad scared, just Drew Lock as starting quarterback. I'm not confident in that at all. So I don't know, man. And then Texans have been a wasted franchise for a while. Poor Texans fans, man. But
I was gonna say, where did Teddy Bridgewater go? But he's on Miami. He's on Miami Dolphins.
Oh yeah.
So I was gonna be I was gonna say maybe we're wrong. Maybe they do. Some of these teams do have a good backup QB, but just searching I'm oh, where did Terry go? I don't remember where he went. He went to the Dolphins, dog.
Hey, they picked up all the good backup quarterbacks, that's for sure. And I feel like if this is Tua's last chance too. If Tua doesn't perform with the weapons he got, they plug in Teddy Bridgewater in there ASAP. I don't feel like they gonna give Tua that many games either if he does not perform. They might give him a good maybe half of the season. If he doesn't perform, if they don't have a winning record, unfortunately he gone too. It's a lot of these quarterbacks final, they really have to perform.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of QBs were not saying their careers on the line, but a lot of these QB might be from projected starters to career backups, or guys that are bridge QBs. We went through the list already. We went through some of them. Marcus Mariota. It's a do or die year for Marcus Mariota, in our opinion.
Yeah, facts.
Justin Fields.
I think he's still got a year to show.
Yeah, even if he has a rough year this year, I think I'm going to give him one more year. I think just because he has a longer rope. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is on some teams. Some teams give their QBs a long rope. to be a starter, and some teams give you a short rope.
Exactly.
Like Daniel Jones is going to his third year. Like you said, I agree.
Wait, isn't this his fourth now?
Maybe his third or fourth. He's got a
It's
long
one of
road,
those. But Daniel Jones has been having opportunities. Like, I feel like his rope wasn't short enough. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, there's so many QBs. I feel like even my team, the Jets, Zach Wilson. I think even with the bad year, he might get another year. This is his second year starting, so he might get a third year. But it's just the crazy part of the QB is like you have 2-3 years to kind of show something, or else they go to the next guy, the next draft guy, the next. We talk about Davis Mills. He might have another year, but yeah, I would think he might have another year just because it's not his fault. They might be tanking, man. Who else? We spoke about Daniel Jones.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts
show up, especially with the weapons that he has now, with the addition of AJ Brown, and you got Devontae Smith, and you got Dallas Goedert. Nah, I think Philly is sold on him, but if he just totally shits the bed, for lack of a better, for a better word or a better phrase, if he just totally susses it, they're gonna be like Philly fans are of course gonna go buck wild, right? They gonna be like, I told you Jalen Hurts should be a starting quarterback. He sucks. He's so inaccurate. All this rah rah rah. Like I know they they get down on him, and because of that Philly fan base, Philly probably move on from Jalen Hurts. I feel like I have faith that Jalen Hurts will perform though. I feel like he will do something, but if he doesn't, I don't think he's gonna have as long of a leash. I feel like they'll move on.
I definitely agree. Like he should get another year, but you said the Philly fan base is so crazy. Like just the way they got Wentz out of there that quick. He had a bad year.
Wentz had one bad year,
and they got him up there.
It was very terrible though. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a tough place. Philly's a tough place to play. Like it sucks, but like the fact that we should give our flowers to like Donovan McNabb. The fact that he was able to play in Philly that long, and they were booing him a lot too in Philly. But McNabb played a good amount of years there. Yeah, not a lot of QB since he's gone there have had a long stretch there. Michael Vick wasn't there very long. Kevin Kolb was there. He was gone quick.
Yeah.
After Kevin Kolb, Carson Wentz.
Nick Foles had to have 2 stints there because he had 1 stint there. Then they kicked him on out of there. Then he went to the Rams for a little bit. Then he came back, and then he became Philly's savior because that's when he won the Super Bowl as a backup quarterback. So literally, I believe it's hard. If Nick Foles is there the whole time, the story would have been written very differently for him, I feel.
Definitely. They would have found a way to get out. Like the fan base is so crazy. Like they start booing the Q. Like they're crazy, man. They'll boo the team, man. Like
they'll make you want to quit football for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Man. You just realize, I guess I'm not as good at football as I thought. Like Philly make you think that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I had hope of Jalen Hurts. He made the playoffs last year in his first year starting. Yeah, they're like 9-8 or something, but still he made the playoffs. They thought he wouldn't. He proved them wrong. He can do the same thing this year. Like I said, they have added weapons like AJ Brown. They have good pieces on paper. They just need to develop that chemistry, and he could do that. Obviously he has to stay healthy. But hopefully that's the case. We spoke about Tua. He should have another year on the rope. Technically, I think so, but like you said, like they don't have a crazy fan base, but like just perception. Like if he doesn't play well, like you said, all the weapons they have, they might put in Teddy real quick in there.
Yeah.
So he should have another year and a longer rope, but unfortunately, I think they're really trying to win this year with the weapons they have. They've invested a lot of money.
Yeah.
First time Miami say we're going all in. We want to at least have a chance to go far this year. You don't say a lot about the Miami Dolphins. And so he's going to have a short leash, unfortunately. Like we said, Tyreek Hill. We can go on with the weapons they've added. They signed back Xavier Howard to a big contract to lock down that corner there for a long-term deal. Like they invested a lot of money And the owner, I think it's Stephen Ross, saying, "Now let's go win a chip."
Yeah,
If
definitely.
they can win a chip. I don't know if this is a year, maybe not, but I mean they gotta step up this year, right?
Yeah, they feel like they got the number one wideout, they got the head coach, they got a lot of things going for them in Miami. So if Tua doesn't seem to fit into that puzzle, they definitely moving on. They definitely moving on. I'm trying to think of who else is like on a short leash though. I'm trying to think like there's
Carson
definitely.
Wentz,
Oh, of course.
Washington Commanders.
I feel like he would be on a short leash as well too, especially since, I mean, like who would have thought that the Colts would have had him on such a short leash, because the Colts were so quick to let him go after 1 year. And again, he didn't even play bad. They just missed the playoffs and they lost a crucial game. They lost crucial games, right? So because of that, I feel like everyone's looking at Carson Wentz as being expendable, and hey, he could be very well a journeyman, if he doesn't find his place in Washington. Because who else do they have in Washington? They have Taylor Heineke, of course, and I believe they drafted Sam Howell.
Yeah,
Sam Howell is a sleeper. I feel like people like Sam Howell is like, I feel like Sam Howell is like a better Baker Mayfield. Like that's literally what I like, how I view him. So hey, if Carson doesn't do well, there's some people who can step right into that role. But I feel like Carson may have another opportunity to start somewhere else, but it may be like a one and done. Like if you don't perform where you're at, you're not gonna do well. Like you're gonna be benched.
Yeah, and unfortunately with Carson Wentz, the problem with him is that like everyone was trying to compare him to his MVP season that he had before he went down. And obviously, as you know, Cinderella story with Nick Foles stepping in and winning the Super Bowl. Everyone was trying to look for that Carson Wentz, the MVP form. So if he doesn't have that type of season, he's not the same.
Yeah.
But like even like last year, like he was playing well. You remember saying like he was creeping into some MVP talks. Do you remember this? Like midway through the season, we were saying, "Oh, he could be the MVP." Like this is how crazy it is. Like
I remember it. It was literally like you were the one who was letting me know, like, hey, like Carson Wentz is actually doing well. And I'm like, I look at his numbers. I'm like, what? He actually secretly was doing, like, he was playing nice, but just not winning though. Not winning the crucial games that needed to be won.
They had a tough end of the year, and they had to win maybe like 2 games to get in, and they lost both games. Like it was just crazy, but
embarrassingly against the Jaguars, right?
Yeah.
So, and that really just like sold his fate there. Like like that just determined his fate. Like after that, there was no coming back for the Colts. Like they're like, nah, okay, we're good off him. You know what I'm saying?
Matt Ryan. I feel like Matt Ryan might retire in the next 2-3 years. Like,
you think so?
I don't know. Like he was playing decent ball in Atlanta, but maybe I just have I have amnesia. Like I haven't really remembered how well he used to play, because the last 2-3 years his numbers haven't been too bad, but like they just lost a whole bunch of games in the last 2-3 years, Atlanta, with Matt Ryan. Right. So maybe I just don't remember. To me, like 3 years ago, it's too far to remember that how well he was playing, but I don't know. Like, really, he's gonna step in. Like, is really like a replace based off, Philip Rivers coming in. He played really well. Then they thought they just replaced with Carson Wentz, played really well, which Carson Wentz was playing well. So maybe they think the system is good enough where Matt Ryan can jump in and just step in and play well, right?
I think so, because Matty Ice puts up numbers. He put up numbers still in the last 2 years with Atlanta. They just couldn't win games because they didn't have a good overall team. Their defense was very, very poor in Atlanta. Is the defense really that couldn't keep them in games, So I feel like you plug Matty Ice into a better overall team. Again, he has more of a run game now when you got Jonathan Taylor. A man like Jonathan Taylor, does Matty Ice really have to do too much? You know what I'm saying? As long as Matty Ice is making great decisions and not losing the game for you, they set, because their defense is nice. They got Darius, what's his name? Leonard,
the linebacker.
Middle linebacker. Yeah, great secondary. Man, they all ultimately they stacked all the way around. They should have been a playoff team last year. So because they are playoff ready, they just had one missing piece. Plug Matty Ice in, they might make some noise.
Yeah, that's definitely another team on the watch. Like you said, I'm hoping that they might play well just because, like you said, Phil Rivers was there 2 years ago. He played well. Carson Wentz was playing well before the end of the year. I feel like it's a system where, if you have a decent QB, he can come and step in and play well. Just has to stay consistent throughout the entire year, which is what they're looking for this year. A QB that can play well from game 1 to 16.
Exactly.
So I feel like, yeah. Who else we talk about? We don't talk about. I mean, it's not a guy we talk about a lot, but last year he struggled. Obviously, we know he doesn't have a great team around him, but they invested some money in this year, and this guy I'm going to talk about plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. We don't really talk about him, but he was. Do we all forget how hyped this guy was? Obviously, I know that it's the NFL and it's a different league, and obviously I know it's a way more competitive and there's way different factors in college. But I mean, he needs to have a good year this year, right? He can't struggle again. They invested more money. Obviously, it might not be the best pieces that for him to try to win a Super Bowl or something, but
they got.
What do you think about him this year? I feel like he's not on a short leash, but he needs to play well, right? He needs to show us.
Bruh, you brought up a great point, bro. I wasn't even thinking about Trevor Lawrence, but man, his leash could very well. I feel like it may not be as long as we think it is. Again, just due to the fact, as you said, the amount of money that they put in these offseason acquisitions. Again, they got Evan Ingram at tight end. They added some wide receivers, Christian Kirk. I'm forgetting the other wide receivers, but they added pieces to surround the offense, to help Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't make a leap in year 2, they might be like, this guy is probably not the guy that we thought he was. They might start having those thoughts, the organization. And I don't feel like Jacksonville, I mean, they may have drafted him first overall, but I feel like, hey, if they see something better in the next draft, they might just go. Again, hey, the next draft is going to be a quarterback heavy draft with CJ Stroud and Bryce Young and
potentially Rattler. If you play
Spencer Rattler. So hey, I mean, Jacksonville, I feel like I don't think they're. I feel like this year has to solidify things for Trevor Lawrence. It has to establish his place within that organization and, prove to them that, hey, he's that guy. If he's not able to perform well, then I feel like the leash might be short, bro.
Bro, he's the number 1 pick, bro.
I know, but hey, people move on from number 1 picks all the time, man. What happened to my boy Baker?
Oh man, don't kill me.
What happened to the man Baker, bro?
Oh man, back to the Baker Chronicles, eh?
We always find ourselves back there, right?
Yeah. Who was another QB? Kirk Cousins. I mean, this thing talking about him
getting chances upon chances. Kirk Cousins, man.
He puts up stats though. If he's a fantasy team, he's one of your top picks in fantasy because that guy puts up stats. I'm not saying he's gonna win games and win championships, but he puts up stats, dog.
He puts up stats, but still yet Minnesota is never in that conversation. And that just proves to you, man, you can put up numbers as a quarterback, but you gotta win games, man. You gotta win games overall.
What's missing? I feel like he could be kind of like a my boy that went from Detroit to LA, Stafford.
Oh, Matthew Stafford.
Can't he be like a Matt Stafford? Jump into a team that's already ready. Everything is set. The table's set. Dinner's ready. All they need is someone there just to, finish to cook the food, dog. Can he be that type of QB that just steps in and win the championships? I feel like he potentially can be. If you ask him to carry a team, that's where you're gonna have problems. I feel like, I don't know, he can step into a situation and potentially win a championship if everything is already set, right? Or do you think he just makes too many mistakes, too many turnovers?
I feel like when you go to a team and you're already a good quarterback who's able to put up numbers, like, because Matthew Stafford is putting up numbers just like Kirk Cousins, just on a poor team. You put that type of quarterback on a team that's already just ready, everything's just stacked. You know what I'm saying? They ready. It's Super Bowl or bust for them. They already know it. It's one mindset, one goal already. I feel like it would work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work out. So just like how it worked out for Matthew Stafford, I feel like Kirk Cousins might be that same type of quarterback that if you plug him in that situation where everything's just set, like you said, it could work. Because as a quarterback, when everything is set, you really just got to make certain key plays here and there, just like what Matthew Stafford did. He really made key plays here and there, but he was never the sole reason as to why LA won the Super Bowl. He didn't have to do it all really by himself. He just had to he just had to do what he do regularly. You know what I'm saying? And hey, in certain situations here and there, just don't throw the ball away, because I mean, like in the Super Bowl, if you think about it, Matthew Stafford threw what? Didn't he throw like 2 interceptions in that game?
Yeah.
Was it 2 interceptions or 1? I don't remember, but
it might have been 1 or 2, but
he turned the ball over, not in crucial times, but he still turned the ball over. So it's like you may have, like, I feel like Kirk Cousins, I don't know if it's that he makes mistakes in crucial times, but he just doesn't have the right supporting cast to help him to win games ultimately. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking BS. I don't know. But I feel like maybe if you plug Kirk Cousins into a team that's ready, maybe if it was him going to LA last year and it wasn't Matthew Stafford, it could have been a Super Bowl for him too. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Kirk Cousins is not a bad QB. I feel like he's never in he's not one that always in the top teams. Minnesota was supposed to be good the last few years, but like you said, they kind of were an average team. Like the team at the top are still kind of the same. Like you have the Cincinnati still going to be good. They were a sleeper last year, and now they're locked. They should be locked if Joe Burrow plays like how he's supposed to play. They're going to be a top 5 team. Obviously, Kansas City Chiefs is going to be up there.
I don't know.
You don't think they're going to be up? You don't think they're on? Oh man, we can go on.
I don't know. Yeah, we go. I know we can go on and on. You and me, we can go back and forth all day on this one.
Bro, Mahomes is legit. You still think Mahomes? I'm not saying he needs to still a lot to prove. Like I'm not saying he's like as good as like he has as accomplished as Tom Brady, but just in terms of skill set wise and the way he plays the game, he can be an all-time great. But like you said, like. He has made the AFC Championship game the last 4 years in a row, right? I could be wrong. That's a stat, right?
I believe so.
He's like a lock to make it at least a second round, or if history serves us, at least to the AFC Championship every single year. So, but I mean, you still haven't dust about how he's gonna play this year, or no?
I feel like this year is gonna shock everyone. I feel like Patrick Mahomes is not going to make it as far as he usually does in the AFC or even making a Super Bowl run. This will not be part of the conversation due to the division that he's in and how the division has developed, right, in the AFC West. And I'm going to tell you like this, Tyreek Hill was such a big contributor to his success. That dude wanted to play backyard football all the time. Patrick Mahomes, he was like when it came to him and Tyreek, he just said sometimes, F it, Tyreek is down there somewhere. I'm going to launch it 70, 80 yards because he going to be down there somewhere and he going to catch it for me and he going to bail me out and it's going to be a touchdown on your ass. That's what it's like. Literally, that's how he used to play the game. When you don't have that anymore, you're going to rely on Juju Smith-Schuster. You're going to rely on. Now, Marcus Valdes-Scantling, I feel like he is a burner low-key, but he's no Tyreek Hill. He's no Tyreek Hill. So it's not going to be the same. And so it's going to be dink and dunk, or it's going to be, just maybe, seam patterns to Travis Kelce, getting him. Or I feel like Travis Kelce is going to be more of the the sole contributor of the offense for this upcoming year, and teams are gonna be able to. I don't think they're gonna completely stop it, but I feel like it's not gonna be enough to bring them over the top. Because again, you had Tyreek and you had Travis Kelce. That was a deadly duo where you could, hey, if Tyreek's not open, let me dunk it off to Travis Kelce. If Travis Kelce's covered, let me drop it over the top to Tyreek. That was that dual factor. You know what I'm saying? Like there was those dual threats there. Now I'm not scared of anyone but Travis Kelce, straight up. And Patrick Mahomes, I don't know, man. Like I said, he just remind me of backyard, that backyard football type guy. That, you know, that's the type of football you want to play. It's not going to be like that.
Big Ben played with that same style for a long time, and that backyard football style. But yeah, they said like that division. You're kind of right. That division's tough, man. Talk about Las Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr, that team. They retooled. They got pieces. You know, you got to talk about the LA Chargers. You know, Justin Herbert. They got pieces. They got a defense down there. Like, they're good. That division's stacked. And I'm missing one team in that division.
Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos with that Russell Wilson. Got Russ. They got a decent defense down there, too. They got weapons on offense, too. Jerry Jeudy. Yes, sir. Couple pieces at running back. They nice, too. That division is serious, dog. Like you said, whoever doesn't play well in the division is going to be a big disappointment. There's going to be one team. I think 3 teams from that division couldn't get into playoffs. But out of that division, one of those teams is going to have a bad year. Like you said, I guess your bet is going to be Kansas City. But one of those teams is going to have a bad year. I'm thinking more potentially the Raiders or potentially the Broncos might have a bad year. That's my bet is, but one of those teams is not going to have a good year. It's just all 4 teams. You've never seen that. Have we ever seen a time where all 4 teams made the playoffs? I think maybe it happened. I don't think so. I'm not sure. Maybe we check the stats on that. Maybe in the comments, you can kind of comment on that. But who do you think is going to win, that division? Who do you think is not going to be good in that division? But like you said, they're stacked. Like, I know a lot of people picking the Chargers to win that division. Like, it's just, you can go so many ways in that division. Obviously, the Broncos are a sleeper. Russ is looking for a revenge year, right? Show everyone, like, yo, I still got it. I can still, be that guy. That division is stacked, bro. Like, I don't even know who's coming out of the division. I got to, like, watch the season first.
I lied? That's what I'm saying. There's no way that all 4 teams in that division can make it. So there's going to be one left out. And, hey, it's going to come as a surprise to everyone, I know, especially you. But the Chiefs are not going to. They're not gonna make it out, man. They're not gonna make it out. I feel like it's between Denver and the Chiefs that are probably not gonna make it out. But I have more faith in Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson. Trying to just show everyone, hey, if you just let me cook, I'm gonna bring y'all back to the Super Bowl or something. I don't know if they're gonna be in the Super Bowl, but hey, what was everyone saying in Seattle? Let Russ cook, and they didn't let Russ cook as much, right? It was a little bit hard to let Russ cook because they wanted to lean more heavy on the run game in Seattle. Pete Carroll was kind of a little bit of more of a factor in kind of keeping Russ at bay and not letting him be fully unleashed. I feel like Denver's they're not gonna let that happen. They're gonna unleash Russell, and they're gonna be a whole different team. Just due to that, I feel like it's them. It's for sure the Chargers, because man, do not doubt that boy Justin Herbert at all. That guy is a superstar. Mark my words, that man is a superstar. He might be better than Mahomes. People might kill me for saying that. But I'm gonna say that. All right, I might just say that. All right, I'm gonna stand on that. Real talk. Okay, so you got Justin Herbert, and then you already know, huh?
Like, I want to see how he plays this year. Like, they both can get out to the pocket and make big throws, accurate throws. But yeah, I just want to see how Justin Herbert plays this year. I'm not gonna go that far yet. I just want to see how he develops. I want to see that leap he makes this year. If he makes that leap, then we can kind of have that conversation and be like, okay,
I feel you. I know. Yo, if there's any better time to jump into the comments right now. All right. If you feel like you gotta kill me for saying that, kill me for saying that. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm standing on. I know you don't agree with me, Denver, but that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep it at that. And then Raiders, man, yo, don't sleep on the Raiders, man. Like Derek Carr and a Devontae Adams connection. That's gonna be scary, low key. I don't think anybody is really anticipated. I don't think anyone knows the magnitude of that connection, right? They're not good. Like no one knows how lethal it may be, because again, you saw it in college. You're like, ooh, it worked in college, of course, yeah, but like it's gonna be a different story. Nah, they go pick up right where they left off, and it's gonna be deadly. That's my mindset on it. So, bruh. Like I said, it's gonna come to as a shock to everyone. Chiefs are gonna be the only ones not making out of that division. Straight up.
It's definitely gonna be highly intriguing. Like you said, like definitely gotta do like a pod like right before the season where we kind of pick who we think is gonna come out each division, who's gonna make the playoffs, because there's so many possibilities that we can go, especially in the AFC, NFC as well. So definitely gotta come up with a pod like that. But yeah, man, we hit on a lot of topics today, man. We hit on a lot, man. We thought we didn't have enough, but we talked about a lot, bro.
Yeah, we talked about a lot. We still got to touch into a little bit of NBA, because there's big news, man, happening in the NBA. I mean, it's off season for the NBA as well. You know, it's off season for basically the two sports that we love and that, you know, we mainly focus on. But a lot of stuff happens in the off season. A lot of trade rumors. A lot of free agency moves. You know, one of the biggest topics that have come to our attention is Kevin Durant and Kyrie not wanting to play for the Brooklyn Nets anymore. You know, they're both of them are seeking a trade. You know, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's kind of surprising because, like I said, like Kyrie announced he's gonna come back. He wanted to get traded, right? They couldn't find a trading partner that would take on his salary, so he said, "All right, I'm gonna opt in. And I'm gonna stay." So I thought that was gonna be all cool. Everything would be good. But then Kevin Durant is like, I'm gonna get traded too. And I think it might have something to do with Kyrie has 1 year left. So he's like, nah. Y'all didn't want Kyrie back, but he had a player option, so he opted in. Next year, he probably ain't come back. So Kevin Durant's probably thinking, I ain't gonna be here long term if Kyrie's not here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, he wants out because Kyrie doesn't have a long-term deal. If Kyrie was locked in long-term with the Brooklyn Nets, I think he would stay. Because he kind of foresees that he's going to be gone next year. He's like, I don't want to do this all by myself. Because remember, it's supposed to be him, Kyrie, and Harden.
Yeah.
Harden wanted to leave for reasons, you know, we could speculate on, but, you know.
It's because he didn't like Kyrie. Yeah,
him and Kyrie didn't mesh, apparently, which was funny because when Kyrie wanted to get traded, one of the teams he had on was Philly, which made no sense to me.
That's mad funny.
That makes no sense to me because that's the reason why Harden left. But maybe like they rekindled and they're cool now. I don't know. But I thought everything's gonna be good and they're gonna run it with Ben Simmons, Kyrie, KD. But now KD wants out, and now Brooklyn Nets saying everyone's open to get traded. So I'm like, what's going on, dog? Like, where's KD gonna go? People speculating maybe Portland, maybe Miami, maybe Toronto. I heard a lot of rumors like that.
Big talks about Toronto.
They wanted to give up like the kitchen sink for him. Maybe like a Scotty Barnes, even like a Siakam. I'm like, bro, he needs pieces. We can't just give up everybody and just have KD there. We need pieces, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus, we probably give up like so many first-round picks just to get him. Like, I don't know, but
yeah, I feel like the asking price would be too much.
Yeah, but like I'm just a little surprised. I'm interested to see where it goes. Do you think he really wants to get traded? A lot of people think it's just a leverage play. He's just trying to like threaten Brooklyn to say, hey, if you don't sign my boy to a long-term contract, then I want out too. Do you think it's more of that play, or do you think he really wants out and we're gonna see a big move in the next few weeks of him getting traded somewhere?
I feel like Kyrie is really open to leaving the team though as well. I feel like he is kind of sold on, you know, hey, my time in Brooklyn is over. He wants to start a legacy or continue on his legacy somewhere else. It's just funny to me and ironic to me, not that, Brooklyn initially was such a powerhouse, such a top team in the East that we were, we often had talks about them being in the finals, or winning a championship. This has to be the biggest, disappointment of a franchise, with the moves that they made. It has to be the biggest disappointment in league history, right? For the short time that they've had Kevin Durant and Kyrie and Harden, you can count maybe on your two palms, bro, how many games that they actually played together. This really did not work out at all, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they did not reach as far as they were projected to. It's just crazy to me. And now it's just gonna blow up in their faces. And hey, if we see Kevin Durant and Kyrie departure, you're stuck with Ben Simmons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's a really good defender, but we all know his struggles. He doesn't want to shoot the ball.
Exactly. The confidence issues are just so, it's so severe. It's different.
I mean,
confidence issues are so severe.
I feel like it also falls back on the head coach of the GM. Like, isn't one of the head coach's jobs obviously is to coach and teach, but another one of his responsibilities is to manage egos. Like, you've seen that with like all the great coaches, like, the Phil Jackson managing, Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah.
Kobe and Paul Gasol. With Lamar Odom, with Ron Artest, managing all these egos. We talk about even Golden State recently. They just won a championship, right? We didn't really talk about that too much, but they won this year, and a lot of people thought they weren't going to win. But look at all the potential players that they have that are kind of egoless, but you have to still manage them. You have Steph to keep happy, Clay to keep happy, the emerging Jordan Poole to keep happy, the emerging Andrew Wiggins to keep happy, Draymond Green. And you just have so many pieces.
So many personalities.
That's one of the jobs, to manage egos. So why doesn't Steve Nash or the GM walking to the Nets get all the guys together, Kyrie and KD, and say, hey, we're going to give it one last year, try to manage their egos and try to make it work? Like, frick, man, like he said, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, they all want out, so the whole team can get traded. Like, he said, big disappointment. Like, we all thought they were going to be all together and have a powerhouse squad. Like, it doesn't make sense, right?
To me, I feel like maybe Kevin Durant and Kyrie, they don't respect, the pieces in the front office. I never really felt like they respected Steve Nash like that, as a head coach. I remember early on when they decided to hire Steve Nash, Kevin Durant or Kyrie said, I don't remember exactly which one, that reported to say, like, we're still going to play our game. Like, I'm still going to do what I want to do or whatever. It's like, I'm not really going to take much. Like, he's not going to be able to take over a team and implement his whole style. Like, they're still going to do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So just from those comments, I'm like, all right, they don't really, like, Steve Nash is just going to be a dude sitting in the chair. Kevin Durant and Kyrie are orchestrating this whole thing, basically, right? So just due to that lack of respect, I feel like there was no managing. There's no ability, there was no capability to manage those people. Like, they came here to kind of run their own ship, and now that the ship, they realize that, hey, it's not going to work out, we're going to abandon. And yeah, that's how we're going to see it to be true. What's funny to me, I mean, people are saying, Kyrie there's possibility that he might end up on the Lakers. Now, I feel like that's kind of far-fetched, but people be talking about it. LeBron, or AKA Le GM, he be looking he always looking to make moves. I know he would love to have a Kyrie.
Yeah, but I don't understand, because him and Kyrie clashed so much the first time, and there was so much friction. Obviously now I think it's under the bridge now.
Yeah, time.
But it's like, how will they get him? Like, they don't have the salary to pay him. Is like Brooklyn gonna buy him out, and then he's gonna. That's a possibility. Buy him out, and then they still owe him money, and he just takes the mid-level exception with the Lakers. Like, it's still a possibility, but they can't just trade for him. Like, I feel like Lakers don't have the draft picks, or they don't have the pieces that Brooklyn wants in a trade. They're not gonna give up LeBron James, obviously, or AD. I mean, Westbrook's still a question mark there. I mean, Lakers are a question mark in general, bro.
They really are. So many people thought that Russell wasn't gonna make it. You know, they thought that season's done. They gonna let him go, but they holding on to that contract. I don't know what it is. Maybe they giving him another opportunity. Maybe huh?
Russ opted in, like Kyrie. He had an option, player options. He opted in. Obviously, he ain't gonna turn down that money.
I feel okay, true.
But like, it doesn't make like if they trade Kyrie, they probably have to trade Westbrook. Does Brooklyn want Westbrook?
I don't know. I mean,
dog.
With the state of Brooklyn, I'd take Russell because Russell's gonna bring fans. He's gonna bring fans because with the departure of KD and the departure of Kyrie, people are gonna watch. They're gonna come to watch Brooklyn maybe win a couple games here and there. They're gonna ultimately lose, but at least Russ is putting like triple doubles up, and putting on a show and putting on the mean face. You know what I'm saying? He put fans in the seats. Real talk. He's been an attraction to Brooklyn.
True.
Especially since you're not going to rely on Ben Simmons to do that.
But take about that squad though, Ben Simmons and Russ on the same lineup, bro. Unless they're gonna have a Joe Harris or like a lot of shooters. Yeah, you have a lot of shooting in that lineup, bro.
Because they're gonna need it. Or else shooters gonna be non-existent.
Yeah, like I don't know, like if they added Kyrie to Lakers with the Westbrook, then that's interesting because then like who starts? They're gonna start,
right?
They're gonna start Kyrie and Westbrook. That's possible because Kyrie can shoot, so Westbrook just can be the shooting guard. But that would be a pretty sick lineup, like Kyrie, Westbrook. I don't know who plays small, but LeBron at the power, the small, and then AD. That's a tough lineup, but
it would be a tough lineup on paper, but like just seeing how Russ tried to fit in with two other superstars with LeBron and AD, Russ didn't know how to fit in. Russ, Max, he's at his full potential when he's the superstar on the floor.
Right, like OKC.
Exactly.
When it was him, yeah.
Send him over to Brooklyn. I guess, I don't know.
He could be the guy over there. So I mean, that's actually a pretty good look. Like you're right. They trade Kyrie for Westbrook. That's actually would work out because Lakers they would rather have Kyrie because he can shoot and maybe he can just he's a better floor spacer than a Westbrook. You can kind of hide him on defense. He'll play tough team zone defense and help defense. And then Westbrook could be the star on Brooklyn. And he would do a lot of the scoring. Ben Simmons would be the passer. Like, it could work. It could be work, but
it could work.
But KD don't be there. It's a Brooklyn's a huge question mark. Like,
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna be watching to see where KD goes. If he's still like strong on, I want to get traded. Like, where's he gonna go, bro? Like,
yeah, that's a big question mark for me. I don't see what other team is gonna just. Because he wants to be the guy, again, he's still trying to write that legacy or solidify to everyone and maybe even to himself, because maybe he doesn't even believe in himself that, hey, I'm going to somewhere and I'm winning this ring on my terms, on my way. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the guy. Golden State, the argument has always been, hey, this team won before you were there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, like, you basically lost to the team that won the championship, and then you decided the next year to go to that same team. What do you think is going to happen? You know what I'm saying? You guys are going to win 2 back-to-back championships, of course. Ain't nobody can compare with you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's always been the argument that Kevin Durant never deserved those championships that he won. So if he finds somewhere where he's definitely that guy, and he wins the championship on his terms, it could change his whole legacy. It could change the whole way the story is written about him. But which team would that be? You know, it's like, which team would that be?
Yeah, I feel like he gets too much flack though with the whole like Golden State thing. Like he won 2 Finals MVPs, and if he stayed healthy, he could have won a third one. I mean, I'm thankfully that they lost that one because our Raptors won, so I'm happy for that. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like he gets too much flack for the whole Golden State thing. Like everyone's saying, "Oh, it takes legacy, doesn't count." Like you can't say it doesn't count. It definitely counted. He won 2 Finals MVPs. Like definitely was doing something good. Like you said, like I think he's looking for. He kind of wants to, because he wants to quiet that noise. Be like, I was the guy in the team. Mm-hmm. So he wants to go to a team where he's, like you said, he's the guy, and he says, "Here, look, we won when I wasn't in Golden State, and I was the man." So I think maybe he's looking for that kind of validation, but he doesn't need it, to be honest. Like to me, he's all-time great.
Yeah, definitely. Always will be considered as that, but there will be that chink in his armor, I feel, because Golden State, no one's going to say that, hey, that was Kevin Durant's team. People are going to say that was Steph Curry's team because that was his team. That's Steph Curry. Steph Curry is Golden State through and through. You feel me? He's the heartbeat, fam. No joke about that. Like on everything. So when you talk about LeBron, you can't take away his championships away from him, because when he went to Miami, he was still the heart and soul of the Miami Heat. Even though he had the help of Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade basically said, "Here are the keys, my good sir." Like, you know what I'm saying? He literally said, "Here are the keys. You are the best guy on the team. You are the guy. Let's do this. Let's win these championships." And that's LeBron was the heart and soul of those Miami Heat championships. Then comes back to Cleveland. Of course, he's the heart and soul when he comes back to Cleveland. The champion, and then going to the Lakers, winning that championship in the bubble, definitely the heart and soul. Those were his teams. You can never disregard. You can never put an argument against LeBron's championship. When it comes to Kevin Durant, people will always have these arguments. You know what I'm saying? So Kevin Durant has to change that.
That's why I thought Brooklyn was going to be the squad where he can change that, but I guess he's going to have to go somewhere else. Even if he goes to Miami, I still could be Jimmy's team, like Jimmy Butler's team. Like it's tough. Like where does he go? If he comes to Toronto, I think we'll give him the keys.
It's going to be his team.
We'll give him the keys real quick, bro.
Of course.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. We hit a lot of topics today, bro. A lot of NFL. We even talked about stuff going on in Canada.
Yes, sir. We hit it all.
We talked about it all, man. NBA, NFL. We do it all here. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. I think we've gotten a good few hours here, keeping you guys engaged and through the conversations. But yeah, definitely, like you said, we'll keep it going. Start the series again. Took a break, but we'll be back, and definitely stay tuned. Like, subscribe, comment, share to your friends, share to your family, tell the whole squad, spread the word on the Josh Never podcast. I think Josh is frozen there, but yeah, it's your boy Denver right here. I appreciate it, and we out.
Review. I ain't making no commitments unless I'm seeing it through, and that shit ain't always easy to do. Nah, it ain't easy to. Another year alive, pushing my dreams, finding balance while I'm looking at screens.
Hey, what's up? All our fans out there, it's the Josh and Denver podcast right here. It's your boy Denver right here.
Yeah, it's your boy Josh.